Hello, I'm John Michael Albert, the 8th Portsmouth, New Hampshire Poet Laureate, and this is Ambushed by Poetry. Ambushed by Poetry is a project to place poems in surprising places throughout the city of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I'm standing by the old brewery buildings here on Brewery Lane, and I'm going to read you John Greenleaf Whittier's poem called *Maud Muller*. It has a very famous quotation at the end. Maud Muller, on a summer's day, raked the meadow sweet with hay. Beneath her torn hat glowed the wealth of simple beauty and rustic health. Singing, she wrought, and her merry glee the mock bird echoed from his tree. But when she glanced the far-off town, white from its hill slope looking down, the sweet song died, and a vague unrest and a nameless longing filled her breast, a wish that she hardly dared to own, for something better than she had known. The judge rode slowly down the lane, smoothing his horse's chestnut mane. He drew his bridle in the shade of the apple trees to greet the maid, and asked a draught from the spring that flowed through the meadow across the road. She stooped where the cold spring bubbled up and filled for him her small tin cup, and blushed as she gave it, looking down on her feet so bare and her tattered gown. "Thanks," said the judge, "a sweeter draught from a fairer hand was never quaffed." He spoke of the grass and flowers and trees, of the singing birds and humming bees, then talked of the haying, and wondered whether the cloud in the west would bring foul weather. And Maud forgot her briar-torn gown, and her graceful ankles bare and brown, and listened while a pleased surprise looked from her long-lashed hazel eyes. At last, like one who for delay seeks a vain excuse, he rode away. Maud Muller looked and sighed, "Ah me, that I the judge's bride might be. He would dress me up in silk so fine, and praise and toast me at his wine. My father should wear a broadcloth coat, my brother should sail a painted boat. I'd dress my mother so grand and gay, and the baby should have a new toy each day. And I'd feed the hungry and clothe the poor, and all should bless me who left our door." The judge looked back as he climbed the hill, and saw Maud Muller standing still. A form more fair, a face more sweet, ne'er has it been my lot to meet. And her modest answer and graceful air show her wise and good as she is fair. Would she were mine, and I today like her, a harvester of hay. No doubtful balance of rights and wrongs, no weary lawyers with endless tongues, but low of cattle and songs of birds, and health and quiet and loving words. But he thought of his sisters, proud and cold, and his mother, vain for her rank and gold. So, closing his heart, the judge rode on, and Maud was left in the field alone. But the lawyer smiled that afternoon when he hummed in court an old love tune, and the young girl mused beside the well till the rain on the unraked clover fell. He wedded a wife of richest dower, who lived for fashion as he for power. Yet oft in his marble hearth's bright glow he watched a picture come and go. A sweet Maud Muller with hazel eyes looked out in those innocent surprise. Oft when the wine in his glass was red, he longed for the wayside well instead, and closed his eyes and his garnished rooms to dream of meadows and clover blooms. And the proud man sighed with a secret pain, "Ah, that I were free again, free as when I rode the day where the barefoot maiden raked her hay." She wedded a man, unlearned and poor, and many children played round her door. But care and sorrow and wasting pain left the traces on heart and brain. And oft when the summer sun shone hot on the new-mown hay in the meadow lot, and she heard the little spring brook fall over the roadside, through the wall, in the shade of the apple tree again, she saw a rider draw his rein. And gazing down with timid grace, she felt his pleased eyes read her face. Sometimes her narrow kitchen walls stretched away into stately halls. The weary wheel to a spinet turned, the tallow candle and astral burned. And for him who sat by the chimney lug, dozing and grumbling o'er pipe and mug, a manly form at her hot side she saw, and joy was duty, and love was law. Then she took up her burden of life again, saying only, "It might have been." Alas for maiden, alas for judge, for rich repiner and household drudge, God pity them both, and pity us all, who vainly the dreams of youth recall. For of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, "It might have been." Oh well, for us all some sweet hope lies deeply buried from human eyes, and in the hereafter, angels may roll the stone from its grave away. Thank you for listening. Ambushed by Poetry is sponsored by the Portsmouth Poet Laureate Program. You can learn more about the project and the program on their webpage at pplp.org. I would like to thank Mike Nelson, my cameraman and IT guy, for his generous donation of time and resources to this project. Poetry is everywhere. How'd I do, John?
Great.
Great. Onwards and upwards.